Hi everyone, welcome back to another Texas Top Shelf Reptiles. I'm Chad, and today we're going to go over the 5 things that you need to know before you get your baby Tegu. But right now, let's take a look at this bad boy.
Alright, so this is a 3 by 3, and I have got a larger hide in the back there. That stays with the humidity level of 91.86 right now. Humidity level has gone a little bit down because I do have a fan on the timer up here that kicks in every once in a while, and I have a water system that feeds in up into the top that sprays. And let's get okay, so now we got opened up a little bit. So up here at the top, we painted some clouds on. A little bit harder to see in the back, but I do have a double LED grow light in the back. And these vines, natural vines growing in there. I do have some fake vines that I started with. And like I said, this has been growing. If you watched any of the other videos, this has been growing for about 2 months now. We've got grass, we've got all kinds of good stuff growing in it. You can see we're sitting at 66 in the back. The fan just kicked off, so it lowers the humidity level a little bit. We've got 92 degrees in the back. We got 90 degrees up here in the front. And right here on the top, 115 to 120. Then it comes down here to the smaller one where it gets around 100. Plenty of branches and everything to climb on, large water dish to get it in the back here. But this is where we're going to live for the next 3 months. For my Chandler Wildlife fans out there, locked and secure. Alright, now this is all locked up and secured now. So as you can see, I don't have my UVB light on yet because there's no reason to be running it yet. I will start it about 2 days before it gets here, just to say about that. I guess to break it in is how a lot of people use it. But there's no reason to run it right now. I've just got the heat lamps going, so I know what a consistent temperature is day in, day out. I know from at 10 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, I know all day what the temperature is going to be because this has been set up for a while. Very important things to do beforehand is to set your tank up ahead of time. So now let's get into the 5 things that I believe you need to know before you get your Tegu. Number 1, research. I think research is probably very underrated in all of the reptile industry. I think a lot of people have impulse buy when it is a reptile, and they'll just maybe go to the store and they'll be like, oh man, look at this, oh it's on sale, and they'll grab it. I'm not going to say anything bad about those people because at least they're rescuing an animal, right? But it's not the best environment for an animal to just come home and be thrown into a tank and then them try to figure out how to take care of an animal. So the better idea is to do a little bit of research ahead of time. I've been researching my baby Tegu for months, easy 8-9 months, almost a year now I would say, before I'm actually getting it. And you will see an unboxing video of this very quickly because it got hatched. About 2 more weeks, a little under 2 weeks, I should be receiving that. So Diesel will be his name. He is a high black and white Argentine Tegu. I got him from Rose City Reptiles, and he will be coming in shortly, and we will be getting a female breeder with that a couple months later down the road as well. But research. I've been researching this, I've been researching a lot of things, and let's just go over a couple things. 2 of the most important. Number 1, I think, is the care of a Tegu. A large reptile is a lot of work. It's a lot of setup, a lot of thought process, and then not only that, it's just a lot of continual care. Like we're getting this animal and we're actually their keeper. You know, we're getting this animal to enjoy it for ourselves. So we need to be able to understand how to best take care of this Tegu. A lot of things that that work in some of the other reptiles will work with this, doesn't work with this. And so if you have reptiles, it can be an easy transition, but it's good to research 5-10 different people that are having videos, consistent videos about Tegus, that know what they're talking about, and to watch those repetitively over and over again, to listen to all the little things that you might need to know. The humidity, the temperature level, the food, the UVB range, the interaction, the puberty stages, the growth stage. These are all things that you need to learn in their care of having a Tegu. And the second part, which I think is probably more important than a care of a Tegu, is understanding where you're going to get that Tegu from and whom you're going to buy that Tegu from. Are you going to buy it from one of these pet stores, which you might have a pretty reputable pet store that's close to you? I don't have any, and I am not going to go to the local pet store and just buy something because we've all heard the horror stories of those. But learning where you're going to get your Tegu. I've researched, I tossed up 4 or 5 different people that I was really looking, couple companies, couple individuals, and I finally settled on Rose City Reptiles for a couple different reasons. 1, he's a family man. 2, he's here in Texas, right where I'm kind of close to. And 3, the way that he cares for his video. He breeds a lot of Tegus. He's got 50 plus Tegus that he's breeding. But the housing, the care, the understanding, the interaction with the Tegus, very involved with them. It's not just, hey, I threw these out in a cage, they're having some eggs, and I'm going to sell them to you. There's a lot of people out there, and there might not be anything wrong with that. If you've had multiple Tegus and you're just looking for that one Tegu to make up in your match, you might just want to buy it from that one person. But if it's your first Tegu, I really suggest researching hard who and where you're going to buy that Tegu from. Alright, number 2, food. They eat a lot of food. A lot. Everything that I've seen, they just eat and they eat. And if you'll feed them, they'll just keep eating. But it's easy to overfeed them. And it's easy to feed them stuff that is going to make them obese easier. Now, when they're babies, it's hard to overfeed them. I mean, they're basically just little monsters. The more you feed them, the more they're going to grow, right? Well, you can still be feeding good things and bad things. You know, crickets to start off with is great, but we soon want to switch that over to a full food prep where they're getting their calcium, they're getting their vitamins, they're getting their whole praise. And I did do a video of that, and I'll try and throw a link of that in right now, where I did make a whole video of Tegu Mix, the ultimate Tegu Mix. And food is readily available in a lot of different aspects for these guys. So if you watch the video, you can kind of see where I got some of the different foods from. But a lot of it you can get from the local grocery store. But as far as whole praise, yeah, you can get a limited amount of whole praise usually from your pet store. But when it comes to buying in bulk, which these things will soon start to buy and to eat in bulk, you need to know who you're going to go through. I went through Rodent Pro. They had a sale on. I don't know if I'll continue to go through them. I was pretty happy with it. They have certain amount of charges, shipping charges, so they give you a box and you can fill it up with as much stuff for one shipping amount price until you get to the second box, and then it goes up. So you can actually get a whole bunch of stuff in there. I just got 50 chickens and 50 chickens and 20 quails from them. It was $19 in shipping, which I was only 20% full in the box, so I could have went a lot fuller. Alright, so on to number 3, Enclosure. So I really think there's 2 things that you can do for Enclosure. 1, buy it. 2, yeah, that's 2. That's 1. Okay, 2 is to build it. I choose to build it. If you watched any of my other videos, you understand I did have a construction company. So building things is kind of fun. I like to repurpose a lot of wood. So I get a lot of wood that I find on the side of the road or somebody's thrown out, and then I'll buy it and use it and repurpose it. I like the old structure, the idea of it and stuff. To me, anybody can go buy a whole bunch of plywood and 2x4s from the good old homie shack over there and throw it together, and it looked pretty decent. But it stimulates my mind more to build. But you might not have the tools, you might not have the area, you might not have the personal know-how. But if you ever want to understand how to build one, like I said, I will be building one in the future. But you can always leave a comment, ask me a couple questions, send me an email at ttsreptiles.com. Throw that in right there. And just ask me some questions. I have no problem answering any things or answering a comment from you from below. And with that in mind, go ahead and like, subscribe, hit that bell notification down on the bottom so you don't miss any of the new content. As soon as this baby comes in, we'll be doing videos maybe 2-3 times a week. We'll be watching the growth of my baby Tegu. We'll be doing an unboxing video, see how we get the Tegu in and such like that. So follow down below. But Enclosure, so if you can't build it, if you have gotten to that stage where you're like, this is going to be really big, I don't think that I'm going to be able to want to take that, there's always the option of buying it. And there's a couple different options, right? You can buy things and convert them where there's not a whole bunch of hammer and nails, where there might be just changing out and making some doors and putting some glass in, or you could get like an old bookcase, or another different idea where I've seen a lot of people doing is the grow tents, which they're rather affordable. You turn them on your side instead of having them go straight up and down, and those are great at holding heat, temperature, and humidity in. That's definitely a thought process. Those are a lot cheaper than the big boys, and the problem with those is not necessarily that they cost so much, which they do, which if you're getting a Tegu, you pretty much understand that it's not necessarily the price of the Tegu, it's everything else that goes along with it that is going to make it so expensive. But with the thought process that you were going to buy a large enclosure and you have that in mind, some of them just take a while to get. I know Zen Habitats is coming out with a 4x2 and a 4x2 that has an end cap you can put together now. There's other cages, different ones that have them, but these PVC tanks, a lot of them take a while to get built and put together. So if you are going to have one built, you need to have that probably maybe even 6 weeks, 8 weeks, maybe even longer. I've heard people saying 6 months it's taken them to get a custom enclosure built. So keep that really in mind if you're going to do it. Now when they're babies, I've got mine in a 3x3. It's much smaller. He'll be probably having a 15x10x6 outdoor enclosure is what I'm thinking in my mind, with a full water feature, aquascape water feature, and a walk-in 5x5 by probably 10 long, something on the inside that have a doggy door that you can go out during the day, come back in at nighttime, and it'll be kind of in a sitting area, a man cave if you want to call it, that I'll be able to actually interact with them at nighttime and such. But enclosures, there are several different options to go, but they're big. Right now lumber's expensive, so it is a little bit more expensive than normal to build an enclosure, but it's still a lot cheaper than going and buying one. Right now it's probably the cheaper, truthfully, to buy a grow tent and use that for a while. Cons of those, there's not much viewing space, and they normally have maybe a 12-inch by 12-inch window. That's, that plastic, crappy plastic that, within 2 weeks it's all scratched up. You can't see it in any way. That's really the big downfalls that I've seen to those. Is there's just not very much room for you to view it, and I think same thing in, you can't see in, he can't really, or she can't really see out. So it's more of their environment, it's their area, and when you come in there, they might be a little bit more aggressive, thinking territorial-wise, that's theirs. So that's kind of the downfall that I've seen to those. So on to number 4. Alright, heat, temperature range, humidity, all of these are way up for debate. Why I say look and research many different people so you can come up with your own. That's what I did. But from what I've understand is in the hot spot under my direct basking light here is highest is like 122 when it's a little bit warmer in there before the fan kicks on. I've seen it get up to like 123, 124 I think is the highest. But normally it's around 122 to 115 right in the hot spot. And then right where this other light is over here, the smaller light, which is the same par rating, it's just a smaller light, a little bit higher, it gets down to the 198 range, and then shortly off to the side and right out of these lights it drops down to 90, 92 in the back. Then all the way in the cool, in the high spot where you saw the temperature there, it was 86, but when that was in the hottest part, the fans kicked on now, it is now 80.8 in there and 98% humidity. So that's the cool area, moist area where he's going to stay moist, hydrated, cool, where he wants to come out and bask here. And the temperature is high enough here that he won't have to bask here all day. He'll be able to move throughout the tank and have plenty of warm spots, have plenty of cool spots, have plenty of shades, plenty of hides and such to get in. So that's the temperature range. Now the humidity, you just kind of heard me go, is anywhere from right up here, which is normally in the 60, high 50 to 60 range here, and right under the light. But shortly off of that, it goes to 70, and then all the way to 99% in the back corner where his digging and hide is. When that hide is in the back, there's about 6 to 8 inches worth of substrate underneath there that he can actually dig down into that and get plenty cool. Having these things set up ahead of time is a very good plan. It took me several weeks to figure out the height of this rock compared to this light. I couldn't use too big of a heat lamp here because the depth of it is not super deep, right? It's a square, so the temperature in the whole environment was getting too high. And so I ended up having to order a fan and a timer and add extra electricity up there so that I could keep that temperature range consistent and the humidity consistent throughout the day, where it's only fluctuating within a couple degrees throughout the whole entire day. And I also went and I put in a humidity system, a mister. So I have everything on push buttons over here that I push it, the misting system comes on, it sprays, turn it back off, and he has nice fresh water throughout the tank. All the snails, everything comes out, gets water, everything at that particular time. So I'm pretty sure as soon as I do that, he's going to come out during the heat part of the day for him and such. So having these things set up is very important ahead of time. If I can not emphasize that enough to y'all, is preparing for your Tegu way ahead of time before you get it. So let's get on to number 5. Have a safe place to socialize your baby. A lot of people take them into the bathroom. That just doesn't seem like the best place for me to go and hang out for an hour, right? Because they're saying an hour a day is a good way to socialize your Tegu, and being in the bathtub is a good place to make him be able to go and walk over you. And I get it, that might work for you, but I'm not what I would say claustrophobic, but there's just not really a lot going on in the bathroom that can interest my mind more than the Tegu, right? And so I know for an hour of me handling and letting the Tegu walk across me and walk back and forth and such like this, my mind's going to be going back and forth a little bit here and there. And so, having some kind of place that is not, going to be completely distractive for you or the Tegu, but not going to be so confined that you're going to get bored and soon not want to do that, and is where I'm kind of going. Is if you're sitting there going, oh God, I gotta go sit in the bathroom for an hour. It's not going to probably be everybody's aspect on it, but you know, because you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to get to go spend time with my Tegu. But I have kids, I have dogs, I have cats, I have bearded dragons, I have leopard geckos. We have all kinds of different things going on here. We are soon moving. There's a lot going on. So for me, going and sitting there and being able to sit in a bathroom for an hour a day is not probably going to be the best area for me. But at the end of the night, I do have my little man cave area where I have Tegu proof, where I have a TV that can be going on. I have, you know, my computer's out here. I have other things that's going on. I have the Tegu cage. So easily at nighttime, at the end of the day, open up the cage, let them run around here. It's been completely Tegu proof. They can't get out of anything. So that's something good to really think about, is Tegu proofing a place where you're comfortable at too. You might want to start in the bathroom for the first week or so, and that might be great, and I might actually do it too. But soon after that, I know that I'm not going to be wanting to sit in a bathtub or in the bathroom for an hour, you know, where you could do a bathroom also one day, you can do another room one day, or just having a barriers that you can set up where you know the little guy is not going to get out. That's a good thing. And on the other aspect of that is get ready to enjoy your baby. From everything that I see, and I can't wait to get my hands on this thing, it seems like forever. I swear I love my baby daughter more than anything in the world, but I swear she came so quick, and this Tegu has taken so long to get here. But get ready to enjoy your baby. Spend time with it. Be active. Do not be scared. And day one, when you put him in the cage later on, to go over and move everything around, find him, pick him up. Every day you need to be getting hands-on with your baby. Get him out of his cage, hydrate him, make sure he's doing that. Give him some positive reinforcement with some food. Give him some loving. Give him some climbing out of the enclosure environment. Make it seem like you're going to be part of his life, regardless if he wants it or she wants it or not. That you are going to be part of that life right from the get-go. And so get ready to have fun. And with all that said, I hope you tune in to the next video. I think I'm going to be doing an outdoor enclosure video that I did for my bearded dragon. So if you want to see that, it's just going to be a real short video, show you how I kind of built it real quick and how he enjoys it. And tune in. The video after that will be the unboxing of Diesel, the black and white, high black and white Tegu from Rose City Reptiles. Until next time, peace out.